propagated the values of giving due respect to one and all, irrespective of their any other consideration. So human rights is a subject which is there in existence, which was propagated, popularized for ages in the Tamil culture. As a person from Thiruvarur district, I am proud to mention about the great Manuniri Chola, the statue which one can see in our High Court campus. Human rights, the individual rights, was considered not only for living human beings but also for other creatures. That's why when the cow came asking for justice, the great Chola king Manuniri, after inquiry, found his son was guilty, asked the chariot to be run over and punished him. That's the kind of values, virtues that was followed by the Tamil kings and the Tamil religion, Tamil culture. So human rights is a subject which is close to the kings, rulers of Tamil for ages. And our commission was inaugurated by none other than the then Chief Minister, Muthamularinya Dr. Kalainar. As I said about Manuniri Chola, you know the background and the history of our former Chief Minister and the way in which he propagated the rationalist ideas in his various endeavors and writings goes to show how much the value of human rights was cherished by him. Human right is a concept that was propagated, and the social justice was close to our rulers and leaders of the community, so that the society, the state progressed. The great rationalist leader from Erode propagated, Tandai Periyar propagated the value of giving respect, of treating social justice as the paramount importance for the well-being of the society. As such, human rights is a subject which is close to all our leaders, and as not only the legal hair, but also the political hair of the person of the Dr. Kalainar who inaugurated the SHRC in the initial stages. The Silver Jubilee function is being presided over by our Honorable Chief Minister. A person who has risen from the lower levels by his hard work and dint, a person known for his commitment, person known for his speed with which he performs things. An example of which is the chess Olympiad which is going on in Mahabalipuram, which has been organized within 4 months when everything is not possible to do even within 1 year. So we are fortunate to have a person with a vision and a commitment to society, and we are happy to have our Honorable Chief Minister as chief guest on this occasion. You are welcome, sir. All of us know about the human right values and how it has been violated at various places. And we have amongst us the most admired, loved, respected judge of the former Chief Justice of the High Court and the presently at the Apex Court, a person who always cherishes his connection with Chennai. And we in Chennai always like to see his lordship whenever and wherever we get the opportunity. And as a person from the land which has suffered on the human rights recently on various fronts, it is more appropriate that we must have as guest of honor our Honorable Justice S.K. Kaul. We welcome you, sir. We have our chairperson of NHRC, Honorable Justice Arun Mishra, and he always champions the cause of the people who are in need of protection and well-being. And I am pleased to welcome Honorable Justice Arun Mishra on this occasion. My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, he readily accepted our invitation without any hesitation, and he was graceful enough to come over in spite of various commitments he is having today. I welcome Honorable Chief Justice on this special occasion. Organizing such a function with so much of dignitaries will not be possible unless and until help is extended by the government agencies. We are fortunate to have both the affection and also the irayum arulum சேர்ந்த இறை அன்பு இங்கே இருப்பதால் எங்களுடைய நிகழ்வு மிக சிறப்பாக இங்கே நடைபெறுகிறது. ஸோ ஐ எம் கிரேட்ஃபுல் டு சீஃப் செக்ரட்டரி, other secretaries and other officials for making this event a successful one. So I welcome Honorable Chief Secretary and other secretaries, DGP and all other officials of the Government of Tamil Nadu on this occasion. On our invitation, I am fortunate to have my brother and sister judges of the High Court, past and present, and also Advocate General, other office bearers of the various bar associations, Bar Council of Tamil Nadu, and other dignitaries. I welcome one and all. Of course, we have got a special guest in the students who took part in various competitions conducted by SHRC over the period of time. And I welcome all the award winners who are going to be honored, who are going to receive the award from the hands of Honorable Chief Minister, and also the district collectors and superintendent of police who are going to receive the award from Honorable Chief Minister. I welcome the media, I welcome the other invitees who are all present here. Welcome on behalf of the SHRC and also on my own behalf. I extend a very warm welcome on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen of the august gathering, we will now honor the dignitaries on and off the dais. I now request Honorable Thiru Justice S. Bhaskaran, the chairperson of the State Human Rights Commission, to honor our honorable chief guest, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, with a memento. I also request the Honorable Chairperson to honor our guest of honor, Honorable Thiru Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, with a memento. I now request Honorable Thiru D. Jayachandran, Member, State Human Rights Commission, to honor Honorable Thiru Justice Arun Mishra, Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, Delhi, with a memento. Thank you, sir. I also request Thiru D. Jayachandran, Honorable Member, to honor the Honorable Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, Honorable Justice Munishwar Nath Bhandari, with a memento. Thank you, sir. I now request Honorable Dr. A. Chitranjan Mohandas, IAS, Member, State Human Rights Commission, to honor Thiru S. Raghupati, the Honorable Minister for Law, Courts, Prisons and Prevention of Corruption, Government of Tamil Nadu, with a memento. I also request the Honorable Member, Thiru A. Chitranjan, to honor our Chief Secretary, Thiru V. Irai Anbu, IAS, with a memento. Thank you, sir. I now request Honorable Thiru D. Jayachandran, Member, State Human Rights Commission, to honor the Director of Posts, Chennai City Region, Thiru Somasundram, IPOS, with a memento. Thank you, sir. In order to commemorate this momentous occasion, the Silver Jubilee of the Tamil Nadu State Human Rights Commission, the Commission has compiled a souvenir consisting of articles from various dignitaries like Honorable Ministers, Honorable Judges, Honorable Members of Parliament and State Legislature, Senior Advocates, and academicians. I now invite our Honorable Chief Guest, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, to release the Silver Jubilee souvenir. Thank you, sir. I now request our guest of honor, Honorable Thiru Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to unfurl the Silver Jubilee inscription. From time immemorial, stone inscriptions serve as a mark of events of historical importance. This being a historical event for the State Human Rights Commission, the inscription assumes paramount importance. I now request the Honorable Guest of Honor to unfurl the inscription. I now request Honorable Thiru Justice Arun Mishra, the Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, to release the Silver Jubilee Journal, an updated version of the Human Rights Act textbook. The journal has been edited by Honorable Justice Ibrahim Khalifullah, a former judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Thank you, sirs. The Department of Post has released a special postal cover to commemorate this monumentous occasion. I now request Mr. K. Somasundaram, IPOS, the Director of Postal Services, Chennai City Region, to hand over the first copy of the special postal cover to our Honorable Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, the Honorable Thiru Justice Munishwar Nath Bhandari. Thank you, sir. Today we have awards being distributed to the winners of various competitions. I invite Honorable Thiru D. Jayachandran, the member of the State Human Rights Commission, Tamil Nadu, to deliver a brief note on the competitions and the various awards being distributed today.
தமிழ்நாடு மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தின் வெள்ளி விழா நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு சிறப்பு விருந்தினராக வந்திருக்கின்ற மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்களே, மேலும் சிறப்பு விருந்தினராக இங்கே அமர்ந்திருக்கிற உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தின் நீதி அரசர் அவர்களே, தேசிய மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையத்தினுடைய தலைவர் நீதி அரசர் அவர்களே, சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தின் தலைமை நீதிபதி நீதியரசர் அவர்களே, தமிழ்நாடு அரசின் சட்டத்துறை அமைச்சர் அவர்களே, எங்கள் ஆணையத்தினுடைய தலைவர் அவர்களே, தமிழ்நாடு அரசின் தலைமைச் செயலாளர் அவர்களே, இங்கே எங்கள் அழைப்பை ஏற்று வந்திருக்கிற உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தின் நீதிபதிகளே, காவல்துறை அதிகாரிகளே, வழக்கறிஞர்களே, சமூக ஆர்வலர்களே, மனித உரிமை ஆர்வலர்களே, ஏனைய மாநில மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையத்தில் இருந்து வந்திருக்கின்ற தலைவர் மற்றும் மெம்பர்களே, உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய காலை வணக்கத்தை நான் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். மனித உரிமைகள் பாதுகாப்பு சட்டத்தின்படி தமிழ்நாடு மாநில மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையம் 1997 ஏப்ரல் 17ஆம் நாள் அமைக்கப்பட்டது. அன்று முதல் இந்த 25 வருட காலமாக இந்த ஆணையம் பாதிக்கப்பட்ட நபர்களிலிருந்து பெறப்படுகிற புகார்களின் அடிப்படையிலும் தாமாக முன்வந்து வழக்குகளை எடுத்து பரிந்துரைகள் செய்கிறது அல்லது வழக்கை தீர்ப்பளிக்கிறது. தமிழ்நாட்டு முழுவதும் இருந்து பாதிக்கப்பட்ட நபர்களும் அரசு அதிகாரிகளும் சென்னைக்கு வந்து செல்வது மிகவும் காலவிரயமும் பணவிரயமும் ஆகக்கூடாது என்பதற்காக வேண்டி மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தின் உறுப்பினர்களாகிய நாங்கள் தமிழ்நாட்டிலே திருச்சி, கோயம்புத்தூர், திருநெல்வேலி, மதுரை, கன்னியாகுமரி போன்ற பகுதிகளுக்கு 2 மாதங்களுக்கு ஒரு முறை சென்று வழக்குகளை விசாரித்து வருகிறோம். இந்த ஆணையம் அமைக்கப்பட்ட பொழுது சுமார் 1000 வழக்குகள் தான் ஒரு வருடத்திற்கு வந்தன. ஆனால் இப்பொழுது தொலைக்காட்சி, பத்திரிகைகள் மற்றும் ஆணையத்தினுடைய செயல்பாடுகளின் காரணமாக ஆண்டொன்றுக்கு 13,000 14,000 வழக்கு புகார்கள் பொதுத்துறை அதிகாரிகள் மீது வருகின்றன. இந்த ஆண்டிலே ஜூலை வரையிலும் இந்த ஆணையத்திற்கு 10,263 வழக்குகள் புகார்கள் பெறப்பட்டிருக்கின்றன. அதேபோல கடந்த 25 ஆண்டுகளிலே எங்கள் ஆணையத்திற்கு 2,45,209 வழக்குகள் புகார்கள் பெறப்பட்ட அதில் 2,62,074 வழக்குகள் தீர்ப்பளிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. தற்சமயம் 39,015 வழக்குகள் தான் நிலுவையில் இருக்கின்றன. மாண்புமிகு தமிழ்நாடு முதல்வர் அவர்களுக்கு எங்கள் ஆணையத்தின் சார்பாக ஒரு பணிவான வேண்டுகோளை வைக்க நான் கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கிறேன். இந்த ஆணையம் ஆரம்பிக்கப்பட்ட பொழுது எங்களுக்கு புலனாய்வு போலீசார் உட்பட 74 பேர்கள் தான் பணியாட்கள் இருக்கிறார்கள். இப்பொழுது தினசரி 100 புகாருக்கு குறையாமல் 15,000 வழக்குகள் கிட்ட வருகிறது. ஆனால் பணியாட்கள் அதே அளவில் தான் இருந்து நாங்கள் வேலை செய்ய வேண்டிய சூழ்நிலை இருக்கிறது. மாண்புமிகு தமிழக முதல்வர் அவர்கள் கனிவுடன் எங்கள் கோரிக்கை 2-3 ஆண்டுகளாக அரசாங்கத்துடைய நிலுவையில் இருக்கிறது. கூடுதல் பணியாட்களை அனுமதிப்பார்த்து உத்தரவிடுவார்கள் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன். மேலும் இந்த வெள்ளி விழாவின் காரணமாக நாங்கள் பல்வேறு வகையிலே போட்டிகளை ஆணையத்தின் சார்பாக நடத்தினோம். அரசியல் சட்டமும் மனித உரிமைகளும் என்ற பெயரிலே ஒரு குயிஸ் புரோகிராம் நடத்தினோம். அதிலே பல்வேறு கல்லூரியை சேர்ந்தவர்கள் பங்கு பெற்று அவர்கள் வெற்றியாளர்களாக தேர்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறார்கள். அதைப்போல சுற்றுச்சூழல் சீரழிவும் மனித உரிமைகளும் நடைமுறை மற்றும் தாக்கம் என்ற தலைப்பிலும் கணினி யுகத்தில் தனிமை உரிமைக்கான பரிவும் சவால்களும் என்ற தலைப்பில் ஆங்கிலத்திலும் தமிழிலும் நாங்கள் பேச்சு போட்டி நடத்தி தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள அனைத்து பெரும்பாலான கல்லூரி மாணவ மாணவிகள் சிறப்பான முறையிலே தங்கள் உரையாற்றி அவர்கள் இன்றைய தினம் தமிழக முதல்வர்களுடைய பொற்கரத்தினாலே இன்றைக்கு பரிசு பெற இருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகவே எங்களுடைய ஆணையத்தின் செயல்பாடுகளுக்கு பெருளவிலே மக்கள் மத்தியிலே ஒரு விழிப்புணர்வை ஏற்படுத்துவதற்கு பத்திரிகைகளும் தொலைக்காட்சிகளும் சிறப்பாக செயல்பட்டன. ஆணையம் அரசு எங்களுடைய ஆணையத்தினுடைய பரிந்துரைகளை ஏற்று அவ்வப்போது உத்தரவிடுகிறது. இன்னும் நிலுவையில் இருக்கின்ற பரிந்துரைகளுக்கும் அரசு நிச்சயமாய் நடவடிக்கை எடுக்கும் என்று கூறி வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. We now proceed to the distribution of the awards. First, we have the awards for the best performing collectors in Tamil Nadu. I call upon Ms. B. Gayatri Krishnan, IAS, Collector Thiruvarur, to receive the award from our Honorable Chief Minister. I also call upon Dr. K. Sendilraj, IAS, the Collector of Thoothukudi, and Thiru M. Aravind, IAS, the Collector of Kanyakumari, to receive their awards. Thank you, sirs. The award for the best performing Commissioner of Police has been awarded to Thiru T. Sendil Kumar, IPS, the Commissioner of Police, Madurai. I now request Thiru T. Sendil Kumar to come on stage. Thank you, sir. The awards for the best performing Superintendent of Police has been awarded to Thiru V. Badri Narayanan, IPS, the SP of Coimbatore. and Thiru Saroj Kumar Thakur. And Thiru Saroj Kumar Thakur, IPS, the SP of Krishnagiri. Thank you, sir. We now have the winners in the Tamil essay competition organized by the State Human Rights Commission. The first place has been awarded to K. Sumitra, second year student of Government Law College, Coimbatore. The second place to J. Harish, student of Loyola College, Chennai. And the third place to B. Venkatesan, second year student at the Madras Christian College, Tiruchi. I request the winners to collect their awards from the Honorable Chief Minister. Thank you, sir. We now have the distribution of prizes for the winners in the English essay competition conducted by the Human Rights Commission. The first place has been awarded to M. Trisha, first year student in Agurchand Manmul Jain College, Chennai. The second place to S. Subhashini, student of the same Agurchand Manmul College in Chennai. Third place to G. Pavitra, a fifth year law student at the Government Law College, Tirunelveli. And the fourth place to M. Srivarshini, a first year student of public administration at Agurchand Manmul Jain College, Chennai. We now have the distribution of awards for the winners in the speech competition. The first place goes to Joshua Emmanuel Samuel of the VIT School of Law, Chennai. Second place to Lilish Sundaram, the Savita School of Law, Chennai. Third place to N. Asmita from the VIT School of Law, Chennai. The fourth place to Krishna Aditya from the Savita School of Law, Chennai. And the fifth place to Sharda Priya Balaji from the School of Law, Wales University. Thank you, sir. We now have the distribution of prizes in the quiz competition. The first place to Aryan Atreya from the Shastra Deemed University. Second place to Jumana Kader from the Shastra Deemed University. The third place from I. Sharadambal from the University of Madras. The fourth place to N. Ramachandran from the University of Madras. Fifth place to Bati Lingbo from the School of Law, Wales Technology. And the sixth place from Shobita Uday Kumar from School of Law, Wales Tech. I thank our Honorable Chief Guest for distributing the awards, and congratulations to all the winners. The Honorable Law Minister, Thiru S. Raghupathy, is known to all as an able administrator, a staunch advocate for the protection of human rights,
the State Human Rights Commission on its silver jubilee and appreciate the role of Commission set its inception 1997. It is towards promotion and protection of the human rights, including women and children, persons with disability, elderly persons, and others. I commend the effort of the Commission in spreading human rights literacy and awareness among the various sections of the society through publication, media, seminars, and other available means. In the words of Mother Teresa, and I quote, "Human rights are not privileges conferred by the government. They are every human being's entitlement by virtue of his humanity." Unquote. Humanity is the main theme for the human right, and for that, Human Rights Act was released, a broad mandate to Human Rights Commission, which includes inquiries into the instance of the human rights violation by the public servant. It is also the research supporting efforts to increase awareness about the human rights, inspection of the police lockups, prison and juvenile homes, etc. At that stage, I would request, because chairperson of the Human Rights Commission of different states are also present, remaining a member of Juvenile Justice in Rajasthan High Court, I seen that children home and observation home under the Juvenile Justice are in pathetic condition. They are required to be seen because those child who are in need of care and protection or are in conflict with law are brought their house in the children home or observation home. If the condition is not improved, they run away from the homes, getting involved again in the crime. And therefore, to address the issue, we had evolved a device, and I would request all the chairperson of different state commission here to involve certain enterprises, the person who has to contribute towards the CRS, to adopt the houses, because we cannot look at the government every time. What we did is, we have given houses, children home and observation home, adoption to the industries. It is hardly few bucks they are required to spend, but with that, the homes were brought to a condition where the children brought there was not in a position or was not eager to leave. He was having all basic facility. This is one area which is required to be addressed, because after violation of the Human Rights, if somebody is coming to the commission, you would be addressing the problem he has faced. But we had to address prior to it, and therefore my request would be, and I urge the Human Rights Commission to address that issue also. Human Rights Commission has contributed greatly in human rights of India, despite certain limitations, structural and practical. The Human Rights Commission has played a potential role to protect the rights. Whether the Commission could contribute more to the exploitation of the needy people is slightly debatable issue. The Human Rights Commission, in my view, have to be given teeth and power to their effective manifest. The main limitation that Commission report are recommended in nature, rather mandatory for compliance, and without adequate power to enforce the decision. The lack of authority often results in oversight, rejection of the recommendation, or partial compliance, or delayed compliance. This is one gray area which is required to be addressed by the government. Despite a huge infra, a platform given to protect the human rights, the people come to the high courts under the PIL to seek protection, whether it is a custodial death or any other human right infringement. This can be avoided when we strengthen the institution with adequate power. I'm told that matter is pending, but it needs to be expedited. I would urge all those who are present here to advocate empowerment of human rights commissions with whatever powers they require to give effective mechanisms to implement their recommendation. Otherwise, the platform given to everyone who is suffering from human rights would look at the courts instead of human rights. Courts, definitely they can come, but it remains expensive and at times time consuming also. The easy platform is available with Human Rights Commission, and to make effective, again I would urge that it should be taken up on priority so that we make this institution to be very, very effective. Otherwise, recently the court has taken account and Justice Kaul, addressing one of the issues regarding the grant of bail, in the case of Jubair's case, had taken care of those who are kept behind the bars indefinitely or are not extended the benefit. This is not per se a violation of human rights, but if we go and see the condition of the prison, again, we need to address that issue also. The condition may be good. And recently, I was a member attached to NALSA and SALSA, visited certain prison. The condition was again pathetic. That is required to address because we need to restore the humanity. The person who is suffering should have adequate facility, but invariably it is lacking. Therefore, that is one area which is also required to be addressed. And at the end, let me conclude by reiterating that we remain steadfast for our commitment to take all possible steps to ensure fullest enjoyment of the basic human rights of our people, including an inclusive, suitable development. India is building a better and fairly society at home. It is also contributing to be better and fairly world. I, at the end, again extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the State Human Rights Commission to provide me this opportunity to address the audience, august audience. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, my lord. Honorable Justice Arun Mishra, the Honorable Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, is known to the entire nation as an eminent jurist in all fields of law. His Lordship has delivered several landmark judgments of national importance on the bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. The National Commission's functioning has been revamped and enthused under His Lordship's leadership as the Chairperson and now has a new lease of life. It is our privilege to have His Lordship with us today. I now invite Honorable Justice Arun Mishra, the Chairperson of the NHRC, to deliver the special address.
Thiru, M.K. Stalin, Honorable Chief Minister, Tamil Nadu, Srimati and Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Judge Supreme Court of India, just my esteemed colleague, brother, Chief Justice Madras High Court, Thiru Shri Munishar Nath Bhandari, Minister for Law, Thiru S. Raghupati, Chairperson, State Human Rights Commission, Tamil Nadu, Thiru Justice S. Bhaskaran, members of the State Human Rights Commission, Thiru D. Jayachandran, Dr. A. Chittaranjan Mohandas, my colleague, Dr. Mulle, Shri Rajiv Jain, my former colleague, Justice Khalifullah, sitting judges of the Honorable High Court, former judges, other chairmen from the various State Human Rights Commission members, prize winners, students, other ladies and gentlemen, advocates, and other dignitaries, members of media present here. Today is a great occasion, not only because we are celebrating 25th year of the establishment of State Human Rights Commission, but we are celebrating the cause of being a human, which is most important cause behind it. I thank Chairperson of the State Commission to give me an opportunity to be here and share the dais Thank you. As all of us know, and we have the pride in that India is the largest vibrant democracy of the world. People will wonder, world over, how this democracy is successfully functioning. In all diversity, cultural, faiths, languages. So much area is, vast area India has, and is going to be the most populous country next year. So, we are the world's power as on today. We have to realize in this 75th year of our independence, nobody can ignore us. Nobody is ignoring us. We are being respected world over. So it is more of our responsibility to respect the human rights, to bring dignity to the human, to respect their human rights, and that is the cause of the state. National Human Rights Commission and the State Human Rights Commission, if function effectively, they are serving the cause of the state and the government of India. We are not adversaries. It is their function and primary duty to save the human rights of the citizens from tyranny of anyone on earth or any system or any officer, errant behavior of any officer or human, that I will say not officer. Actually, it is errant human behavior which has to be taken care of by the State Human Rights Commission and National Human Rights Commission. Equal justice for all and distributive justice and socio-economic justice is enshrined in our constitution. Those who have remained deprived of for centuries, we have to give them justice, ameliorative hand, and what they had been deprived of, so as to make them equal with us. That is what is contemplated under the equality talked of by the law minister of the state, dignity and protection, equal protection of human rights. For equal protection of human rights, it is necessary that every human respect the right of the all creatures, all biodiversity on earth. Because without that, human existence is not possible. We have to depend upon each other. We have to care for the environment. We have to take care for the system. We have to take care of each other. We have to live with dignity. We have to live with love. We have to live with affection. That is what is required. Requirement of the day. Indian ethos and culture is a chapter right from beginning. 5,000 years ago, we find it is totally embedded with human rights, you see. If we go for globalization concept, 5,000 years ago we find Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam concept in our scriptures. Globalization is being talked of today. It's not of today. For Indian culture, it is 5,000 years old concept. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And then we say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Gautam Buddha spread ahimsa. Jain Dharma filtered evils of which came in the Hindu Dharma, refined. Sikh Dharma further refined it. We are the assimilation. We have the power of, Hindu culture has the power of assimilation of all religions, all cultures, all languages. That is the power of India. That is the spirit of India. That is the culture of India. So, when we go to Mahabharata age, we find civil liberties in a political system have to be protected by the king or the ruler. Two, Mahabharata is a glaring, salutary example of the human rights. During the day, battle will be fought. In the evening, they will visit each other's camps, enemies' camps, look after the injured, wounded persons and take care of them, talk for compromise, talk for the solutions. That is the culture of POWs, injured soldiers, which was there earlier and during time of Mahabharata. And then we see in Ramayana epic, Ram restrained Lakshmana from using weapon of mass destruction, is stating that these weapons should used ordinarily, very sparingly, when only there is no other way out. He stopped Lakshman from destructing the masses by using destructive weapons. That is the culmination of India's policy of no first use of atomic energy. We'll not use the atomic energy first. We'll use it as only in self-defense. So our culture, our entire system is embedded with human rights. We aim for Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, and Sikh gurus have started langar culture also, and food security, that is providing food security to all. Gurudwaras, you go any day, you will find food being distributed free. That is the culture we have. It was rightly said that humans are born with human rights. Everybody is born with the human rights. So it is our duty to ensure that every human realizes their full potential and is not deprived of any opportunity unreasonable in the pursuit of his choice. Now there is a concept of sustainable development. Sustainable development earlier used to be measured only in terms of the GDP. Now it is progressive and inclusive. Qualitative improvement of human is aimed by the sustainable development. And sustainable development has to take care not only of the today, but the development should be one that we should not extract the resources to such an extent so that they may fall short for the future generation as well. We have to ensure this planet Earth. We have to ensure that material resources of the natural resources remains intact for them. Business and human rights is another concern of the day. With advent of globalization and multinational companies, now we see superior bargaining power again taking place. In this is the duty of the state, and corporate responsibility has been fixed under the Corporate Social Responsibility in the Companies Act, Kempa Fund established by the Supreme Court for afforestation purposes, but its use has to be still seen. When I was in Supreme Court dealing with this matter, I saw that fund is still not being used by the state government for the purpose of afforestation. It has to be used. It is a responsibility of business establishment to see that human rights are not violated and there is no degradation on environment take place, since the state has taken off its hand from most of the sectors and labor's rights are protected. Now, government has come up not only with the statutory changes, but GEM portal is there, which provides that certain percentage of procurement should be done from the SC/ST and women-led entrepreneurs. That is a kind of ameliorative hand which is required to be extended to the deprived section of the society to make them equal. COVID-19 has taught us various lessons. Even today, we are going with the patents of the vaccine. Now this has to be pondered by the courts and various human rights institutions world over, whether intellectual property rights should prevail over the patents of the vaccines and life-saving drugs when poor cannot afford them. They are not, patents should be protected, whether the such patent of life-saving drugs, vaccines should be protected or they should be available to the one and sundry throughout the world, not only in India. Though India has contributed on its part, but the question mark still remains. World is facing various challenges as on today of environmental degradation, climatic change, warming. No state is capable of meeting all these single-handedly. All stakeholders, all its machinery has to work together. I am very happy that certain officers have been awarded the prizes today. You are doing their job very well. Others are doing their job very well, but that is not enough. Once we are human, the best creature of the God, let us take a vote together on this day when we are celebrating the 25th year of the State Commission establishment. Then let us take a vote that we will serve the humanity more effectively and the schemes will not remain on the paper, law will not remain on the paper. It will be implemented as any law which remains on the paper, non-implementation, injurious to the democracy and the rights of the people and is an unconstitutional act. We have to take a lead from the Ratlam municipality case in this matter. We have to wipe off tear from each and every eye. In such circumstances, when we are put State Human Rights Commission role and National Human Rights Commission role assumes significance. In particular, State Human Rights Commission are more effective. They have to take up public issues, local issues of environment, health, hygiene. There are hot spots in every city. You have to take care of that. We have to take care of that. Delhi is also having hot spots. Gazipur landfill sites. These are the sites which are there, which should not exist in the towns. People are dying. This is inhuman. So we have to rise to the occasion. Such a beautiful machinery government has provided to State Human Rights Commission. World over it is not there. There is no parallel Human Rights Commission. Go to any country. Not so much work is being done by in any country. So I expect more intelligence from the State Human Rights Commission. And now, in order to remind the responsibility to the civic bodies who are failing to discharge their duties, as was found in Ratlam municipality case also, even basic minimum safety gears are not provided to the septic tank workers. Now we have issued the notices to those authorities why you should not be criminally prosecuted. They have to ultimately be responsible to the needs of the human, responsible to the statutory discharge of their duty. And to provide safety gears is not only constitutional, but it is integrally connected to the right to life. Similar is their other duties. Now, since we have learned a lot from COVID pandemic, I'll say in the last, we have gone online, but at the same time, digital divide has to be taken care of. That has come to the fore. People we could not reach due to digital divide. How to take care of them is one of the matter to be pondered by all of us, particularly by the state functionaries. Recovery process from the shock of pandemic is an opportunity to set the stage at global level for more inclusive, equitable and friendly world anchored in human rights. We have to ensure that everyone is able to reap the fruits of one's hard work and there is no tear left in any of the eye. Let us work together to make more stronger India, Shaktishali Bharat in this 75th year of our celebration of our independence. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, my lord, for those truly illuminative words. Honorable Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul, Judge, Supreme Court of India, needs no introduction to this august gathering. Still affectionately addressed as Chief by members of the Madras Bar, His Lordship was the Chief Justice of the Madras High Court for 2.5 glorious years before elevation to the Apex Court. We are all beneficiaries of His Lordship's administrative reforms of the High Court. His Lordship's landmark judgments have left an indelible mark on the state. Our Anna Centenary Library, Asia's biggest library, exists today because of His Lordship's judgment. His Lordship is known to all as a wise but equally compassionate judge, tempering justice with empathy and mercy. It is my personal privilege to welcome His Lordship to deliver the keynote address.
Esteemed Chief Guest this evening, Thiru M.K. Stalinji, Justice Arun Mishra, my senior from the Supreme Court and now Chairman of the Human Rights Commission, Chief Justice Munishwarnath Bhandari, Thiru S. Ragapati, the Honorable Law Minister, Justice Bhaskaran, Chairperson of the State Human Rights Commission, Dr. V. Irayanabu, Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, Honorable D. Jayachandran and Honorable Dr. A. Chitranjan Mohandas, members of the State Human Rights Commission, Tamil Nadu, my family of brother judges here, Justice Khalifullah, members of the bar, students and recipients of the award, ladies and gentlemen. Ungalil Uruv Nida Miranda Vanakam. I am honored to be present here on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee celebration of the State Human Rights Commission, Tamil Nadu. For the last 25 years, the Commission has been a vanguard of advancing the cause of human rights in the state. I would like to extend my heartiest congratulations to everyone who has been associated with the Commission and express my deepest gratitude towards their tireless dedication and efforts. The age of 25 is an important milestone in one's life. Having crossed one's formative years, one tends to gain a greater sense of their place in the world. There is slowly a clearer understanding of one's purpose. There are also a number of additional responsibilities as well. It is not very different for a body such as the Commission. As we commemorate the Commission's Silver Jubilee, it is important to note not only take stock of the progress made, which undoubtedly has been immense, but also to peer into the future, to self-reflect, and to recommit to our tryst with human rights. Whenever there are any doubts over one's sense of purpose, I find that there is no greater guide and mentor than the Venerable Thirukkural. The couplet that resonates most with me is Nayanudiyan Nalakuranata Nadal Sayamanir Satyata Amaya Kalavaru. The poverty of benevolent man is nothing but his inability to exercise his benevolence. The couplet reminds us that ethical behavior, altruism, justice, and the advancement of human dignity have been of immense importance in the development of human societies. The 19th and 20th centuries saw a paradigm shift in our conception of human dignity. The abolition of untouchability, the widespread provision of education and extension of political rights to the vulnerable groups. Our Constitution in this sense was truly radical and far-sighted endeavor towards the attainment of social justice and equality. The Constitution as a grundnorm of all law enumerates fundamental rights under Part 3 of the Constitution. Fundamental rights can be derived from the doctrine of natural rights, denoting that certain rights are intrinsic and indispensable for humankind. Life as one chooses to live does not mean the mere animal existence of a man. Human rights can only be attainable when individuals get to live their life with human dignity and have access to all the basic necessities of life such as education and healthcare. I have been a personal witness to it for almost 2.5 years, getting an opportunity to come to a different part of the country, to understand the society of this place, to see the social norms. And in some ways, it was an awakening for me, having been segregated in Delhi for a long period of time. You realize the social development and challenges which occur in different states, and how this country, which is more diverse than the whole of Europe combined together, remains as one nation, but with the ability to lead its own agenda in the region. I saw the empowerment through education of women. I saw how people who are working for me, the next generation, is reaching a different level. And one of the happiest thought process which I had was to see that boys or girls, the parents would equally endeavor to empower them through education. So education has been a great empowerment, and I truly believe that in respect of rights of women, education is the first thing which can empower women by itself, followed by an equal opportunity of share in the family properties. These two combined together are what will empower women. It takes time, but everything takes time. The women who gets education today will come of her own in a decade or 2 decades. But the fact that in judiciary we are seeing so much of presence of women itself is, I think, an indication of it. Today, 1/3 of the judicial officers who are recruited are women, not by any reservation process, but by their own educational qualifications. Same is the position of the high courts here, where I'm proud to say that the Madras High Court has the highest number of women in the country. This is the overall phenomena through the nation, I find. When I was Chief Justice Punjab Haryana, again, 1/3 of the judicial officers recruited were women. In the last recruitment I did in Delhi, there were 73% women who came into the judicial service, far outreaching the men. So I am confident and not affected by the fact when people say, oh, the women community is less represented in judiciary in a lot of fields. Because one fine day we suddenly can't create that opportunity. That opportunity takes time to come. And as the opportunities will come, I'm sure there will be empowerment. Similarly, the empowerment of the Dalits, the backward communities, you will slowly see the prevailing presence in judiciary and other fields. Again, it can't happen in one day. Some states began earlier, like Tamil Nadu. Some states have begun later. But it's a question of some time and patience to see the effect of what is being done. In the same spirit of what I'm saying, the Supreme Court in Navtesh Johar Union of India had observed that about our Constitution. The Indian Constitution is a great social document, almost revolutionary in its aim of transforming a medieval hierarchical society into a modern egalitarian democracy, and its provisions can be comprehended only by a spacious social science approach, not by a pedantic traditional legalism. The whole idea of having a constitution is to guide the nation towards a resplendent future, unquote. The Protection of Human Rights Act of 1993 must be situated in the confluence of this broad movement towards the advancement of human rights. The Act envisaged the constitution of National Human Rights Commission and various state human rights commission for better protection of human rights. It borrowed from the various international instruments to which India is a party, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Covenants on Social and Political Rights, and the Covenant on Economic and Social and Cultural Rights. The Commission here is thus not only invested with an ethical mandate, but is imbued with a broader constitutional purpose. I am a firm believer that the idea of human rights cannot be guaranteed by the 3 branches of state alone. The SHRC is a body that stands between the individual and the state and is empowered to act in a manner that sometimes the judiciary cannot. It is in a unique position to work with the civil society and to take suo motu cognizance of human rights violations. It is also staffed with those experienced in human rights discourse who can share their knowledge and experience with others. Our Constitution teaches us that human rights are not mere enumerations on paper, but they can only be realized through a consistent practice. They must be put into motion and creatively reimagined by all of us. So, when the Supreme Court dealt with the right of privacy, it's not something which was penned down in the Constitution. It is something which arose from the various aspects of our Constitution. And the highest court, by a majority judgment of 9 judges, recognized that being a part of our fundamental rights in some way. And that is again a right which will evolve as things go by. As different situations arise, the courts will impose it. It's not possible to put a full agenda in the beginning to it. What should our outlook on human rights be based on? I suggest that we need to look beyond our immediate surroundings. The state of Tamil Nadu had bequeathed us with rich tapestry of social reforms movements. In our practice of human rights today, we are fortunate to stand on the shoulders of giants such as Valalur and Periyar, who taught us the service to others is the greatest act of love. I must express my gratitude to the Commission for consistently pushing the frontiers of right-based discourse. I'm happy to note that through the years, the Commission has carefully monitored human rights violations and has ceaselessly worked to bring them to the attention of the authorities. These have included instances of illegal detentions, inaction by the police, and custodial torture. The Commission has also been instrumental in running training programs on human rights and related issues. I strongly believe that in a country like ours, such programs are necessary to build a sensitivity towards the rights, freedoms, and responsibilities enumerated in our Constitution. Awareness of rights among the less socially and economic privileged thus forms the essence, because unless rights are known, enforcement or seeking that enforcement itself will be a question mark. In this regard, I appreciate the SHRC's endeavor to be as accessible to the people as possible through the organization of camps and public hearings. At times, courts are unable to effectively discharge their mandate of protecting individual freedom. It is often not possible for a layperson to navigate the labyrinth of legal procedures to obtain the proper remedy. The SHRC is a boon for such people, as it can commence taking action through a simple letter or an email petition. I hope the SHRC will continue its great work for the times to come. We still have some ways to go to eradicate the scourge of poverty, discrimination, and inequality. I do believe that even for the judiciary, understanding of the social and economic perspective, of being in touch with the reality is very important. There has been a tradition of seclusion of the judiciary from different aspects of life. It is my experience in different courts and here that understanding of the society helps in tackling the problems of the same. Otherwise, we will find ourselves in glass houses administering justice. Therefore, on a personal note, my interaction with the wide spectrum of society in Tamil Nadu, Chennai specifically, helped me in trying to do whatever I was able to do in understanding the social and economic scenario of the state, which may not be the same for some of the state, as our country is a very varied place to live in. I would like to conclude with a quote from the great political activist and writer Elie Wiesel, who remarked that, quote, "Wherever men and women are persecuted because of their race, religion, or political views, that place must, at that moment, become the center of the universe." The SHRC is our platform and our Karambhumi, where we must continue to prove our commitment to the idea of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. It's a work in progress. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord, for those inspirational words. முறை செய்து காப்பாற்றும் மன்னவன் மக்கட்கு இறையென்று வைக்கப்படும். A ruler who rules by law will be equal to the divine for his people. இக்குறள் நம் மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சருக்கு சால பொருத்தம். The Honorable Chief Minister is a firm believer in the rule of law, and the cornerstone of rule of law is the protection of human rights. The Honorable Chief Minister has shown his exemplary commitment to the protection of human rights with his policies. His advocacy for the cause of human rights is not limited to this state or indeed our country. He has the unique distinction of having addressed the United Nations Human Rights Council twice to espouse the cause of human rights of the Tamil people in Sri Lanka. One of the fundamental obstacles to human rights is the exclusion of people on social and economic grounds, and the Honorable Chief Minister's focus on social justice policies seek to obliterate these exclusions. It is my personal honor and privilege to invite the Honorable Chief Guest for today's function, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, to deliver the presidential address.
அன்புள்ள உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய நீதியரசர் மாண்புமிகு சஞ்சய் கிஷன் கவுல் அவர்களே, தேசிய மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய தலைவர் மாண்புமிகு நீதியரசர் அருண் மிஸ்ரா அவர்களே, சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய தலைமை நீதியரசர் மாண்புமிகு முனீஸ்வர்நாத் பண்டியாராய் அவர்களே, தமிழக அரசினுடைய சட்டத்துறை அமைச்சர் மாண்புமிகு ரகுபதி அவர்களே, கலந்து கொண்டு சிறப்பித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய அமைச்சர் பெருமக்களே, மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய தலைவர் மாண்புமிகு நீதியரசர் பாஸ்கரன் அவர்களே, சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய முன்னாள் இந்நாள் நீதியரசர்களே, தமிழக தலைமைச் செயலாளர் முனைவர் இறையன்பு ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்களே, மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய உறுப்பினர்களான மாண்புமிகு ஜெயச்சந்திரன் அவர்களே, மாண்புமிகு சித்தரஞ்சன் மோகன்தாஸ் அவர்களே, மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய செயலாளர் டாக்டர் விஜய கார்த்திகேயன் ஐஏஎஸ் அவர்களே, வருகை தந்திருக்கக்கூடிய வழக்கறிஞர்களே, சட்டத்துறையை சார்ந்திருக்கக்கூடிய நண்பர்களே, சட்டத்துறையினுடைய மாணவர்களே, உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பான வணக்கம். மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய 25வது ஆண்டை முன்னிட்டு நடைபெறக்கூடிய இந்த வெள்ளி விழா நிகழ்ச்சியிலே கலந்து கொள்வதில் நான் மிகுந்த மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன். மனித உரிமைகள் பாதுகாப்பு சட்டமானது 1993ஆம் ஆண்டு உருவாக்கப்பட்டாலும் தமிழ்நாடு மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையமானது 1997ஆம் ஆண்டு தான் தொடங்கப்பட்டது. இதனை உருவாக்கியவர் அன்றைக்கு முதலமைச்சராக இருந்த தலைவர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள். இதற்கான முறையான அறிவிப்பை தமிழகத்தினுடைய சட்டமன்றத்தில் 1997ஆம் ஆண்டு ஏப்ரல் 16ஆம் தேதி எண் 110 பயன்படுத்தி முதலமைச்சர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் அன்றைக்கு வெளியிட்டார்கள். மாநிலத்தில் மனித உரிமை ஆணையம் அமைக்க வேண்டும் என்று 1993ஆம் ஆண்டு முதல் கருத்துரு இருந்தாலும் அது அமைக்கப்படவில்லை என்பதை சுட்டிக்காட்டிய முதலமைச்சர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் ஒன்றிய அரசிடமிருந்து இது தொடர்பாக தொடர்ச்சியாக அறிவுறுத்தல் வந்தாலும் 5 ஆண்டு காலமாக எந்த நடவடிக்கையும் எடுக்கப்படவில்லை என்பதை சுட்டிக்காட்டினார். திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய ஆட்சி தமிழகத்தில் 1996ஆம் ஆண்டு அமைந்த பிறகுதான் மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையம் அமைப்பதற்கான அரசாணை 20/12/1996 அன்று பிறப்பிக்கப்பட்டது. அதன்படி ஆணையம் அமைக்கப்பட்டது. ஓய்வு பெற்ற உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய நீதியரசர் நயினார் சுந்தரம் அவர்களை தலைவராக நியமித்தது கழக அரசு. இதனை சட்டமன்றத்தில் முதலமைச்சராக இருந்த தலைவர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் அன்றைக்கு அறிவித்தார்கள். அதன்படி உருவாக்கப்பட்ட மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தினுடைய வெள்ளி விழாவைத்தான் இன்று நாம் இங்கே கொண்டாடி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். மனித உரிமை காக்கும் மாண்பாளரான தலைவர் கலைஞர் அவர்களை இந்த இடத்தில் நினைவு கூறுவது பொருத்தமாக இருக்கும். மனித உரிமைகள் பாதுகாக்கப்பட வேண்டும், மனிதரின் மாண்புகள் போற்றி பாதுகாக்கப்பட வேண்டும் என்பதில் நாங்கள் எப்போதும் கண்ணும் கருத்துமாக இருப்பவர்கள். தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் முதலில் தான் உருவாக்கிய அமைப்புக்கு சுயமரியாதை இயக்கம் என்றுதான் பெயர் சூட்டினார். சுயமரியாதை என்பது ஒவ்வொரு மனிதருக்கும் உயிரினும் மேலானது. மனித உரிமைக்கு அடித்தளமானதும் சுயமரியாதை தான். சுயமரியாதை, தன்மானம், மனிதநேயம், மனித உரிமைகள் ஆகிய அனைத்தும் ஒரு பொருளை தரக்கூடிய வேறு வேறு சொற்கள் தான். அதனால்தான் தனி மனிதரின் சுயமரியாதையாக இருந்தாலும், ஒரு இனத்தின் தன்மானமாக இருந்தாலும், மானுட கூட்டத்தின் உரிமைகளாக இருந்தாலும், அவை எந்த காலத்திலும் எந்த சூழ்நிலையிலும் பாதிக்கப்படக்கூடாது, பறிக்கப்பட்டு விடக்கூடாது என்பதில் நாங்கள் உறுதியாக இருக்கிறோம், கவனமாகவும் இருக்கிறோம். இவையெல்லாம் ஏதோ அரசியல் கட்சியின் கருத்துக்கள் மட்டுமல்ல, அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டம் சொல்வதும் இதனைத்தான். அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டத்தின் மிக மிக அடிப்படையான அம்சம் என்பது மனித உரிமைகள் தான். சமத்துவ உரிமை, பேச்சுரிமை, எழுத்துரிமை, எண்ணங்களை வெளியிடக்கூடிய உரிமை, ஒன்று கூடக்கூடிய உரிமை, பணிகள் செய்யும் உரிமை, மத சுதந்திரம், கல்வி உரிமை, சொத்துரிமை, பாதிக்கப்பட்டால் அதற்கான தீர்வு காணக்கூடிய உரிமை ஆகிய பல்வேறு உரிமைகளை அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டம் சொல்கிறது. அதனை காக்கும் பொறுப்பும் கடமையும் அனைத்து அரசுகளுக்கும் உள்ளது. அந்த கடமையிலிருந்து நாங்கள் ஒரு நாளும் தவற மாட்டோம் என்ற உறுதியை நான் இங்கே தருகிறேன். எனது தலைமையிலான நமது அரசு சட்டத்தின் அரசாக, நீதியின் அரசாக, சமூக நீதியின் அரசாக செயல்பட்டு வருவதை நீங்கள் எல்லாம் நன்றாக அறிவீர்கள். எனவேதான் நீதித்துறையின் கோரிக்கையை உடனுக்குடன் நிறைவேற்றி கொடுத்து வருகிறோம். தமிழ்நாடு வழக்கறிஞர்கள் சேமநல நிதியானது 7 லட்சம் ரூபாயிலிருந்து 10 லட்சம் ரூபாயாக உயர்த்தப்பட்டது. நீதித்துறையினுடைய உட்கட்டமைப்பு தேவைகளுக்காக பல்வேறு நீதிமன்றங்கள் அமைக்கும் வகையில் சென்னையில் 4.24 ஏக்கர் நிலத்தை நீதித்துறைக்கு அரசு வழங்கியுள்ளது. 9 மாடி கட்டடம் கட்ட 20 கோடி ரூபாய் நிதி ஒதுக்கீடு செய்யப்பட்டுள்ளது. இந்த வரிசையிலே பல்வேறு கோரிக்கைகளை நிறைவேற்றி தர நாங்கள் தயாராக இருக்கிறோம். நீதித்துறையினுடைய நீடித்த சிறப்பான செயலாக்கத்துக்கு ஒத்துழைப்பு நல்கக்கூடிய வகையில் இந்த அரசு பல்வேறு நடவடிக்கைகளை தொடர்ந்து எடுத்து வருகிறது. மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தின் இந்த வெள்ளி விழா ஆண்டை முன்னிட்டு சில அறிவிப்புகளை நான் வெளியிட விரும்புகிறேன். ஆணையத்தில் உள்ள காலி பணியிடங்கள் விரைவில் நிரப்பப்படும். பணியாளர்களுடைய எண்ணிக்கை அதிகரிக்கப்படும். இங்கு பேசிய உறுப்பினர் சொன்ன அந்த கோரிக்கையின்படி ஆணையத்தின் விசாரணை குழுவில் காவல்துறையினுடைய எண்ணிக்கை போதுமானதாக இல்லை என சொன்னார். இது குறித்தும் விரைவில் ஆய்வு செய்து முடிவு செய்யப்படும். அதேபோல் மனித உரிமைக்காக தொடர்ந்து குரல் கொடுப்பவர்கள், விளிம்பு நிலை மக்களின் உரிமைக்காக போராடி வருபவர்களையும் இதில் எப்படி பயன்படுத்திக் கொள்வது என்பது குறித்து ஆராயப்படும். மாநில மனித உரிமை ஆணையத்தின் இணையதளம் தமிழில் உருவாக்கப்படும். மனித உரிமை தகவல்கள் அனைத்தும் அனைத்து மக்களிடையே சென்றடைய தமிழ் மொழிபெயர்த்து வெளியிடப்படும். மனித உரிமை கொள்கை கோட்பாடுகள் குறித்தும் அதனை எந்த வகையில் பின்பற்ற வேண்டும் என்பது குறித்தும் அனைத்து தரப்பினருக்கும் அறிவுறுத்த பயிற்சி முகாம்கள் ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்படும். எந்த ஒரு தனிமனிதனின் உரிமையும் மீறப்படக்கூடாது. எத்தகைய சமூகமும் எதன் பொருட்டும் இழிவுபடுத்தக்கூடாது. இதற்கு காரணமான யாரும் சட்டத்தின் பார்வையிலிருந்து தப்பிவிடக்கூடாது. இவை மூன்றும் தான் இந்த அரசினுடைய மனித உரிமை கொள்கை என்பதை இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியின் வாயிலாக நான் அறிவிக்க கடமைப்பட்டிருக்கிறேன். உச்சநீதிமன்ற, உயர்நீதிமன்ற நீதியரசர்கள் பங்கேற்கக்கூடிய இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் எனது சில கோரிக்கைகளை முன்வைக்கவும் நான் விரும்புகிறேன். பொதுமக்கள் மற்றும் வழக்கறிஞர்கள் நலனை கருத்திலே கொண்டு உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய கிளை சென்னையில் அமைய ஏற்பாடுகள் செய்யப்பட வேண்டும். சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய வழக்காடு மொழியாக தமிழ் மொழி ஆக்கப்பட வேண்டும். இவை சட்டத்தின் ஆட்சியில் மக்களின் கோரிக்கைகளாக இவை அமைந்துள்ளன. இக்கோரிக்கைகளை சில மாதங்கள் முன்பு உச்சநீதிமன்றத்தினுடைய தலைமை நீதிபதி பங்கேற்ற நிகழ்ச்சிகள் நான் முன்வைத்ததுதான். இருப்பினும் மீண்டும் அவற்றை இங்கு வலியுறுத்த நான் நினைவூட்ட விரும்புகிறேன். இங்கு வந்து நம்மை கௌரவித்திருக்கக்கூடிய மாண்புமிகு நீதிபதிகள் அவற்றை தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு நிறைவேற்றி தரவும் உங்கள் அனைவரின் சார்பில் நான் அவர்கள் அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன். நீதித்துறையை பொறுத்தவரை நான் இங்கே கோரிக்கை வைப்பவனாகத்தான் வந்திருக்கிறேன் என்பதை நீதியரசர்கள் அறிவார்கள் என்று நான் நம்புகிறேன். சட்டத்தின் அரசாக, நீதியின் அரசாக, அதுவும் சமூக நீதியின் அரசாக அமைவதுதான் மக்களின் அரசாக அமைய முடியும். எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லாம் என்ற சமூக நீதி தத்துவத்தை உள்ளடக்கிய திராவிட மாடல் அரசை நாங்கள் நடத்தி வருகிறோம். மக்களுக்கு இன்றைய தேவை என்ன என்பது மட்டுமல்ல, முக்கியமாக நீதி மட்டும்தான் என்பதை நாங்கள் அறிவோம். உலக பொருளாதார மேதையான அமர்த்தியா சென் அவர்கள் கூறுகிறார், அவர் தி ஐடியா ஆஃப் ஜஸ்டிஸ் என்ற புத்தகத்தில் நீதியை உருவாக்கி கொடுப்பதும் அநீதி ஏற்படாமல் தடுப்பதும் ஆகிய இரண்டும் முக்கியமானது என்கிறார். அத்தகைய சூழ்நிலையை உருவாக்கவே நாங்கள் செயலாற்றி வருகிறோம். இதைத்தான் ஐயன் வள்ளுவர் தன்னுடைய குரலில் வேலென்று வென்றி தருவது மன்னவன் கோலோதும் கோடாதேனின் என்று கூறுகிறார். இதனுடைய பொருள் ஆட்சியாளருக்கு வெற்றி தருவது ஆயுதம் அன்று, அவரின் நெறி தவறாத ஆட்சி முறையே என்பதாகும். குரல் வழி நடக்கக்கூடிய அறவழி ஆட்சியில் தமிழ் மக்களின் நலனையே முன்வைத்து சொல்கிறோம். அவர்களின் உரிமைகளை பாதுகாக்க தொடர்ந்து விளைகிறோம். அந்த வகையில் மாநில மனித உரிமையானது இத்தகைய சமூக நீதி சமூகத்தை உருவாக்க அனைத்து வகையிலும் உதவ வேண்டும் என்று கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறேன். ஆணையத்தின் தலைவர், உறுப்பினர்கள், அதிகாரிகள், அலுவலர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்களை தெரிவித்து என் உரையை நிறைவு செய்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
நன்றி ஐயா. Honorable Dr. A. Chitranjan Mohandas is a retired IAS officer with decades of experience in the fields of public administration. I now invite Honorable Dr. A. Chitranjan Mohandas, member of the State Human Rights Commission, to deliver the vote of thanks.
I consider it a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks to all the esteemed dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend the Silver Jubilee celebrations of the State Human Rights Commission's Tamil Nadu. I thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள், for accepting our invitation and for making the time to be present here today. மனித உரிமைகள் என்பவை எவரும் தருவதல்ல, நம்மில் நாமே உணர்ந்து பெறுவது எனும் இலச்சினையோடு 25 ஆண்டு வெள்ளி விழா கொண்டாடும் மாநில மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையத்தின் சார்பில் நன்றி மிக பாராட்டி மகிழ்கின்றேன். ஆட்சிப் பணிகள் 1000 இருந்தாலும், வெள்ளம் பெருக்கெடுத்து வெருட்டினாலும், நோய் தொற்று தொடர்ந்து வருத்தினாலும், தமிழக முதல்வராய் பொறுப்பேற்றுக் கொண்ட நாள் முதல் மாநில மனித உரிமைகளை காக்கும் கண்ணியத்தை கண்ணென காக்கின்ற மாண்புமிகு தமிழின முதல்வர் அவர்களுக்கு தலைவணக்கம் படைத்து போற்றுகின்றது மாநில மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையம். ரஷ்ய புரட்சிக்கு வித்திட்டு மனித உரிமைகளை காத்து மறைந்த பெருந்தலைவர் ஸ்டாலின் பெயரை தனக்கு பெற்றுக்கொண்டு கண்ணியத்தை காக்கும் கடமை பூண்டு எல்லோருக்கும் எல்லாம் எனும் சமத்துவத்தையும் எவரும் எண்ணி பார்க்காத திட்ட உதவிகளை செய்து தரும் மாண்புமிகு முதல்வருக்கு செய்யாமல் செய்த உதவிக்கு வையகமும் வானகமும் ஆற்றல் அரிது என்ற குரலையே நன்றி காணிக்கையாக்கி மகிழ்கிறது மாநில மனித உரிமைகள் ஆணையம். We deem it an honor to have him deliver the presidential address and to release the souvenir and to give away the awards. I thank Honorable Thiru Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul Supreme Court of India for gracing the occasion by his presence. We thank him for delivering the keynote address and for opening the Silver Jubilee inscription. It is our privilege to have as we are the chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, Honorable Thiru Justice Arun Mishra, as we celebrate the Silver Jubilee of the State Human Rights Commission, Tamil Nadu. Thank you, Your Honor, for your valuable inputs and warm felicitation and for releasing the Silver Jubilee Journal and the updated version of the Human Rights textbook. I thank the Honorable Chief Justice of Madras High Court, Justice Munishwar Nath Bandari, for accepting our invitation and for gracing this occasion with his presence. We thank him for releasing the special postal cover and for delivering the special address. I thank Honorable Minister for Law, Courts, Prisons and Prevention of Corruption, Government of Tamil Nadu, for responding to our invitation and for the special address delivered today. I also thank respected Dr. V. Irayanbu IAS, Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, for his presence. On the occasion of the Silver Jubilee of the Tamil Nadu State Human Rights Commission, we are privileged to have Honorable Thiru Justice S. Bhaskaran as the chairperson of the commission. We thank you, Your Honor, for your valuable contribution to this occasion. I thank Honorable D. Jayachandran, Member SHRC, for presenting a brief note on the activities on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee celebration. I take this opportunity to thank all the chairpersons, members of the respective state human rights commission. I also thank this opportunity to thank Dr. Mahesh Kumar Rathod, IPS, IG, SHRC, Dr. Vijay Karthikeyan, IAS, Secretary, SHRC, Thiru Maheshwaran, IPS, SP, SHRC, every staff and official of Tamil Nadu SHRC for their contribution in making today's celebration a success. Finally, I thank all the media persons and the police officials for their presence and cooperation in conducting the function. Lastly, I am thanking the Honorable Minister for Higher Education and Honorable Minister for Public Works Department who has participated in this function. Finally, I thank the Honorable Chief Minister, மாண்புமிகு முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் எங்களுடைய கோரிக்கையை ஏற்று நான் விரைவில் செய்து தருவேன் என்று ஆணையிட்டதற்காக நன்றி கலந்த வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன்.
Thank you, sir. I request the August gathering to please rise for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे